And we're live. Welcome to the Alignment Entertainment Podcast. Your gracious and faithful host, Thomas Curry, is here, along with my co-host, the beautiful Suzette Martinez. Now listen, we have a very, very, very special guest tonight. I want y'all to give a rousing welcome to the one, the only, Hooty. Give it up. Yes, indeed, he beat me. This is going to be a good podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, you thought that other podcasts were interesting. Be prepared. Be warned.
Don't hype me up too much.
Every time, well, I don't gotta hype you up. Suzette knows how things go every time we get together. So with that being said, let us jump right into it. Okay, now Hootala,
yes,
aka Hooty. Let me ask you something, because I met you early on, but not as early as when I think you had the craving to want to do film. What was it that inspired you to get into film?
Okay, so I have a thing about using the word film because technically it's not really film, but my grandfather used to like record all of our Christmases. He would like set up a camera, like a handy cam, one of them like giant ones, on a tripod, and
back
then,
in, yeah,
yeah,
took the VHS.
Yeah, like the little fake that was on one side.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but when I was like 7, I had like an obsession with just watching those over and over again. And I'd be like, all right, next fucking year, I'm going to be like all up in this camera. I don't know. Like I became really sentimental about like capturing memories. So it's not really like an interest in making films. It was just kind of like about capturing moments like they're Pokemon or some shit.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So when it came to the aspect of you getting into film, about what would you say was your first actual project?
Like a legitimate one that I wouldn't mind if people saw.
Sure.
I don't know. I guess Deathless. I never really was like, honestly, the only reason I have any IMDb credits is because you guys were like, we need a bitch with long black hair to comport herself.
What about what's this thing you used to do? With the white rabbit, Wonderland.
Oh yeah, so that was a vlog series. I don't really know if that counts as like, I guess that's more so videography. Which to me it was just kind of like a recreational thing, just so I could have like archives of my party phase. But yeah, American Wonderland was a vlog that I was doing in 2016, where basically I would just like get hammered as fuck and then just like film whatever I did that night.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And you also had one, if I remember correctly, called, was it Taps? It was a ghost investigation type of I'm assuming doco series.
No, it was Flaps.
Flaps. Okay, Flaps.
It stood for Florida Paranormal Society, and it was like a parody of Taps from Ghost Hunters.
Gotcha. Right.
And it just starred like, I used to do this thing where I would just like bully all of my brother's friends into being the actors in my videos when I would have insane ideas. So I just like forced my brother's friends to be in my it was supposed to be a series, but it was really only one episode. In my house.
Got you. Fair enough. So yeah, I was just interviewed by a magazine recently, and they I find myself.
I know, right?
I was sure. Yeah. That's right. Respect it. I'm trying to come up with this word, but one of the things I always find myself going back to is our first time meeting when Sierra introduced me to you. I remember you came with the big old gauges in your ear, and so forth. And I was kind of talking to you about what I was trying to do. I remember the nights we would lay on my floor and kind of go through on writing the script and what the world that I was trying to bring to life. And I remember telling you that I'm gonna let you go home and write it, because that writing it was not my expertise. I just wanted to give you the world. And I've used this analogy before. I basically gave you the picture, and you kind of breathed color and life into it. What were your first thoughts when we first were working on that Deathless script? What were your thoughts?
First of all, it was Le Mans des Sons.
Yes, indeed it was.
So do you mean like my first thoughts about the project, or?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the first thing is I read the script and I was like, this is fucking horrible.
The 4 years, that was 4 years, right? It was 4 years.
I think so. I think it might have been. And you showed me like some clips that you guys had recorded.
Yeah.
It's like, I was watching it, and it was literally just like you woke up and went to your bathroom and you like sighed. And then you washed your face.
I remember.
And then you
I forgot about that.
And there's like this really long shot of you just like going down a flight of stairs. And I was like, this is compelling. And then I was like, you were like, so that's what we have so far. And I was like, okay, so you haven't gotten far. You let me read the script that you wrote, and I was like, oh, these niggas sound like Thomas. And I say that word. Okay, cool. But anyways, yeah, I was like, this guy could use my help. And those were my initial thoughts.
Oh yeah. We actually, it's like one of the things that a lot of people don't know, Hooty knows this, but there was another group that I was working on the original Vampire script with, which was with, I think her name was Tierra and Ebony, and mostly Tierra, and she was, that's where I had got the thought process of the fangs being something that arouses vampires by sucking on their fangs, something outrageous. But as you see, that got scrapped in the original cut. But me and Hooty, we did a short film. I don't know if she remembers this, but we were shooting a short film about this a demon that was possessing this one chick that was there. You remember that? Remember that day when I was shooting this the demon short film? It was a horror short film.
Which apartment?
The one that you met me in. It's the one that you met me in. My homegirl L'Oreal was there. She had a short haircut. She had a dirty tennis ball.
Honestly, Thomas, we've made a lot of videos like that. The exact premise, so I don't remember. Did we have any footage of it?
Yes. The wild part about it was the guy, I can't remember his name is. I follow him on Instagram. He's still there.
Was it the heavier white guy?
Yes.
Okay. I remember that.
That. I was so hurt because he lost all the footage on his laptop. That's why we never got a chance to see it. I thought it was going to be great because that's the same apartment I did Hamburger Meat Baby. Listen, a lot of my fans don't know about Hamburger Meat Baby. Hamburger Meat Baby was one of the most groundbreaking short films I think was ever forged by the hands of man. But go ahead, Hoots.
Do you know that I have footage?
Of what?
I have Hamburger Meat Baby.
Oh, you do? Yeah, it's on my
It's on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think there was I have a file in it was for all these years just collecting digital dust in my external hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like a year ago, she was like, I need you to get all of your shit off of here. What space could it be taking? And then as I was going through it, I was like, oh, that much space. And it's just like archives of all kinds of shit that I can.
Oh, yeah. You got to edit that and put it together so I can see. Because I want to see some of the things that we did.
Perhaps for a fee.
Sure. That can be worked.
Okay.
But when it comes to, because we did another one. Were you there when we did the sneeze fetish? The sneeze fetish one?
Well, there were two iterations of it.
Yes.
I was there for the second one.
But is that with Cameron or me?
That was with you.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's right. Because the original one was with Cameron.
He did a great job.
And it ended with him like masturbating.
I don't remember that part.
It was hilarious. I think it was great. There's another one that I have. I don't know. I think I still have the footage somewhere. I don't know if I ever put it up. But there was another one where I had it was a short film, and the story about the short film was about this homeless guy. Well, it was about this real high profile lawyer who just won this amazing case. Right, her status is going up. She's very high profile. She just won this amazing case. So she decides to go through a walk in a beautiful park. In this park, she runs into this hobo. And this hobo basically walks up to her and says, I can tell you to keep to immortality. And one of the things, and she thought he was talking crazy, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if Hooty was here for this one.
No.
And the long story short, she laughed it off and she kept moving. And as she was walking away, a car pulls up, the windows roll down, and the people that she just basically got charged, like basically unload on her with like, a bunch of like, hot lead. And she's taking it like Denzel on Training Day. When she collapses to the ground, her head, before that, the homeless guy said, the key to her mentality is dog shit. And she was like, get the fuck. That's when she walked in. And then she got shot. But when she falls to the ground, she still has some breath in her body. And she falls down next to a steaming pile of dog shit. And what happens is she went and tries to eat it in her desperation. We had melted a Snickers bar, so. But she starts eating it, and while she's dying. She dies anyways. And when she gets to heaven, there's a group of angels or whatever circled around watching something and laughing. And it's her eating dog shit. So that was.
No, you forgot the best part.
What?
She eats the dog shit, like, begrudgingly, and thinks it's going to save her life. And then when she gets to heaven and realizes that he lied, like he just made it, like she took advice from a homeless person for whatever reason. And she lets out a blood-curdling scream.
Absolutely.
But it was something that was written or came from the mind of Thomas Curry.
Yes, indeed. So let's walk through these iterations of Deathless, because the first time we remember, and keep me centered here, Hooty, because I know the first time we tried to shoot it was with Trinia, Alice, Rashad, and so forth. And
that really the first time that we actually entered production?
I think so. I think that was the first iteration, because that was the first time we did the whole because we had Patsy as well. We did the whole
No, we didn't have Patsy yet.
We had the photo shoot. She's in a photo shoot. She was playing not Celeste, but Cecilia, yeah.
Oh, okay, mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Patsy's an OG. She was there originally as well, because and I know that with that one, we woke up early in the morning. I know you were cold as shit. We woke up early in the morning and we were shooting what was, I think, the pilot, and it was just me walking down the street with a monologue going on.
It was supposed to be like a trailer or a
trailer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we tried to shoot an episode, I think, because we went to campus. We tried to shoot an episode and so forth. It didn't work. What was it that stopped us from shooting it the first time, Hooty? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember. I think we had to recast a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we might have just lost a lot of actors and had to keep recasting people.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just fell by the wayside. And then I guess you had linked up with some type of FSU network of actors somehow. Mm-hmm. And then we held a round of auditions that I think this is the first time we held auditions at your job at law school.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where we found the second generation.
Yeah, we actually went, and this is and again, I'm gonna say this again. Hooty can also attest to this, because I still do hear the rumblings. We're getting a little feedback. What's going on? Is there something scratching on the mic?
I hear it, but I don't know what it's doing.
I wonder what's going on. Is that me? I think that's me. That is so weird. See a little feedback.
Keep going. I'll see if I can shift around my setup.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, it stopped. Okay, stop. Oh, oh. Okay.
Okay.
With that being said, I remember, and Hooty can attest this, because I still hear the rumblings about this, about my casting, issues with my casting. And we went to one of the most prestigious Black colleges to put up flyers, and which was FAMU University. I'm sorry. And we put up flyers, and we did get, brothers and sisters that came and auditioned for the parts. Unfortunately, those individuals did not end up staying. They ended up, and a lot of times, especially when they were reading for Gabby, I think, were intimidated by the part. It's doing it again. It's doing it again. Whatever you did, Hooty, it fixed it and then it stopped. It started again.
It's my mic. I muted myself, and that was when it stopped.
Oh, it's your mic. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so you have to. So in order for you to speak there, can you still hear me? You can still hear me, right? Okay. So yeah. Could you touch on that, Hooty? What I just said about, because I think there's a little there's some rumblings about my casting and my reasons for casting, and I'm like, no, I've really did try to get more people of color on the project, which I think I did a good job with at the end. But originally, it was a little difficult. Go ahead, Hoots.
All right, everybody, shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding. I was trying to figure out what you were getting at, but I think I know what you mean, because I do remember at the time we kind of looked at each other and we were like, "This is why we don't work with niggas." Too many instances of we would cast people and we'd be like, okay, this character was supposed to be white, but you'll do. And then there were also characters that we wanted them to be black or of color, and we would cast people. And I think there was one girl who, while we were rehearsing, she was out, and we were looking for the bitch. We were like, where is she at? Because we're trying to shoot. And when we found her, she was I'm pretty sure unconscious because she was hammered or hungover from the previous night. And then another girl just straight up never showed up to any of the shoots. So they were just I mean, there's stereotypes and statistics. If it just turns out that the majority of the people who ended up being unreliable were black, then it's I don't really know what to tell you guys.
We definitely did. We definitely did. And I really, really appreciate Autumn, because again, based off our prior instances of trying to cast people, and again, I will say this: it wasn't just black women that were intimidated by the part. We also had another young lady, and I touched on this earlier. I'm not going to go into who it was, but she was also intimidated by the part so much where she tried to get us to change it. And I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to compromise, at least to that degree. And we kind of moved on. Again, I have no ill will towards this person. She knows who she is. She's a wonderful person. She's a wonderful actress.
What are you talking about?
You don't remember? I'll message you after the show. I don't want to out her on the show.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't be coy. Who is
it? The reason I'm not going to message her, say her name, is because the reasoning for her not wanting to do the situation that can be triggering, and YouTube will basically stifle the video if I do. Would that be
for Ella or for Isis?
Isis.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Gabriella.
No. Yeah. With that being said, let's move on.
I was going to say, it's funny that you're saying there were people who were intimidated by Gabby's part, and I'm like, she doesn't have to do fucking anything. It was Isis who was going around blowing everybody she could.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's still true. With that being said, moving into this second phase of production, I remember when we were sitting down. I know you had. Oh, did you? Didn't find a magician? I was a makeshift magician that wanted to be a part of the show. Do you remember that?
Look at her face.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, maybe that was before you, but
Talking
there was
to me or Suzette?
the both of you. Yeah.
Because Suzette's been around longer than me and maybe knows what you're talking about.
So, well, there was, but I know you remember the guy because we talked about this earlier. I know you remember the gentleman who made the amazing weapons for the show.
But what a fucking legend in hindsight.
Yeah, I just hope he's not dead. But
we should have appreciated what we had.
Absolutely, he believed in us. With that being said, let's go into the other phase of production. And I don't know if it was you or me that found Mr. Whittup. And I remember we were watching. It was me? Okay. So I remember, I think I was showing you some of his YouTube videos, and we were watching The Red Scarf. And me and you believe that, you know, this is it. You know, this is the direction that we need when it came to creating the project that was Lamasta's song at the time that is now Deathless. I remember when things started getting moving again, we did a casting call. And this is where I think we casted Bree, we casted who else? No, because the third iteration is when we got we got Autumn and Julian. So I know we casted Bree. We casted
Joanna
as Gabby, and we also casted Jason and his wife and her daughter. Daughter did the makeup. She's very good at that. I don't know whatever happened to her, but yeah, she did. She did really good makeup. She was a really good makeup artist. Yeah, so kind of walk us through, Hooty. What are your thoughts about the second iteration? Because you know we kind of taxied the runway with the first time when we failed. Now the second iteration. Give us your perspective on how the second iteration was going.
I really don't remember because I wasn't. You guys had continued on. Like I dropped off of the project at some point.
The second iteration?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Rashad was there. You're right. Okay. Well, okay. So you're correct because I was thinking about the third time. So the second iteration you did drop off because Chris Whittup dropped off as well. Correct?
Yeah, I think there was like some sort of like a beat going on. And sorry, my dog is like decided to get up and stretch his legs. But anyways, yeah, I don't remember what it was about. It might have really just been like a too many cheap situation because
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, because like Chris is a director, you were like the director of this particular project, and like I'm just in general a very confrontational person.
You were directing on that as well. I think you were directing as well.
Yeah, and so there was just a lot of like misfiring going on, and I think it just became like not worth it.
So you stepped down because I remember we were shooting that with Rashad. Now again, I don't want to diminish the work you put into pre-production because we basically broke down a whole shot. We basically broke down a whole shot line with basically us taking pictures of the scenes and putting them all together. We really did do a lot of work when getting that ready to go for pre-production. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to, be able to make it work when it was coming to actually filming it. Because again, and the way it is with guys, especially when you're shooting, is very, very, very difficult to co-direct because everybody's vision and perception on how things should go is different, and it makes it very difficult to kind of move forward. So again, after Hooty dropped off, and I think Chris dropped off relatively later on, like dropped off right after as well. Did you guys start trying to work on a project after you guys dropped off the Deathless, Hooty?
I don't really remember like what my role was. We kind of all just like were like a film conglomerate. Like when he had the short film he was doing, Breeze, you were a part of that. Like we were all part of everybody, like whatever anyone had going on, part of it. But he had a project that he was doing that I don't really remember exactly what my role was going to be. I was there for like a couple of auditions that he held, but I eventually dropped off of that too because I didn't write the script. Like I can't be a part of something that I'm not like connected to emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, my shelf life on that project was very short.
Mm-hmm.
But we never really like worked on anything together.
Okay.
Like ideas around, and he where I was living at the time, he lived like around the corner, so we would just like talk about like anytime he had a project, I would just like aid him however he needed. If he needed me to just like run the camera, or like if he needed to run an idea or a direction idea by me. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the extent of it.
Okay. Fair enough. When it came to before I went to the third iteration of Deathless, there was a project that me and you and D'Anthony were working on, and it breaks my heart to this day that it never got completed. But it was when I was playing this creepy colleague of yours. Do you remember which one I'm talking about?
Suzette.
Yeah, I'm upset we didn't get to finish that because that would have been fun.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
That was Suzette's project.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. D'Anthony does have some footage, Suzette, I believe, of that.
Get it, and I'll see what you can do.
I'm gonna need to get your address. I think I have the hard drive. I have to mail that to you because I think I have the hard drive with it on there. Well, some of it on, not all of it. So I'll send that to you. Okay, going on to the third iteration. Third iteration of Deathless. This is the third time is the charm. Okay. We go into pre-production. We're looking, we're casting, we're trying to figure out things. And again, I keep harping on this point. Okay, to drive it home. Me and Hooty had a particular thought process on how Daniel's character should be. I originally wanted Daniel to be played by another friend of mine named Cameron Ray. Because of the fact that I saw him playing, I wrote him for a particular character for my old script that was transformed into a Namaste song called 4 Years. But I wanted him to kind of play that part. When we were going through casting, Hooty, what were some of your thoughts about the people that were auditioning for Daniel? And who was the first? Wasn't there another Daniel we tried to cast before Julian and after Cameron?
There was like 2 Daniels. There was the first Daniel that didn't end up like lasting was, I don't remember his name, but he was like a college white kid with like kind of scruffy brown hair. And the reason he never came back was because Trinia slapped the shit out of him in front of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was supposed to do it like as a joke. Because it was in the script, and we were like, debating on the level of force that she should apply.
Yeah.
Just hit me. It's fine or whatever. And she slapped the shit out of him. That wasn't what any of us were anticipating. And I saw it in his eyes that like his fist balled up for a second. And remembered that he told her to do that. And I think at that moment he was like, the second I leave here, they're never gonna see me again. So that was the first Daniel that we lost. The second one was a guy, I don't remember his name either, but he actually was, he made it to production. Like we started shooting the first time that Daniel and Malcolm meet with him. But as the shoot went on, we kind of were all like, this guy's a dick. So he didn't make it. And then when it comes to the third generation and the third bout of auditions that we did, I don't think that there was anybody that we were considering other than Julian. I think it was like a unanimous decision to go with him.
Okay. Interesting. So moving into the third phase. Now, the third phase of the project, it was going a completely different direction because, again, when the first 2 iterations was the ragtag team, me, Suzette, Rashad, and Hooty. And we were just a ragtag team of people trying to put this thing together. Now, when we were introduced to Matthew that fateful night, Matthew kind of completely changed the direction that we were going into more of a professional direction, for what I would say. and we had more people participating. And we actually had a team. We had an actual team of people working on this project. So we had a lot more help and so forth when it came to producing the project. That project had its ups and downs as well, like any type of film set. There were disagreements. I disagreed with how certain things were handled. To this day, there are things that did not go the way that I wanted them to go, especially for certain scenes. But I am, again, like I said multiple times, where I'm very proud of the project. I'm very happy with how it came out and so forth, because that's something that I've been trying to get done for years. I do know that Hooty was on board with that as well. Were you costumes? What were you, Hooty? No, you were acting. You were the one that was helping the actors. Go ahead.
I was directing also. I was assistant director. I was mostly working with the actors, right? Their performances.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in charge of Maxine's wig, which, isn't my greatest, it's not my best work. I've gotten a lot better at it. But, yeah. And then also, obviously, like, I was screenwriter, which isn't something that you're actively doing on set, but it made me a valuable resource.
Okay. Did you want to? I mean, I know I've been talking. There's supposed to be a co-host. Suzanne, I'm so sorry. I want to give you the opportunity. Any questions you want to ask Hooty? Because I've been kind of going in. Go ahead.
I'll let you get your little phase 1, 2, and 3 down. No worry. I'll let you do your thing. So, when you were writing this, Hooty, how did you come up with these characters? I know Thomas has some characters down, but how did you make them better, I guess you said, since you said that the original script wasn't good?
Yeah, it was shit. So honestly, it's kind of like, I don't really know how to explain other than to say that I'm just a self-aware person. So I'm able to like pull from my own, like, I guess, opinions or perspectives and use that to inform whatever character I'm writing about, to make them seem more like a real person. And just kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain. You honestly kind of have to be a little bit of an insane person to come up with a character and it like actually seem like a real character. You can also just think to yourself, like, do I know anyone like this? And then imagine that person as you're writing, because then it's like, it kind of autofills like what their dialogue would sound like. But then there's also spaces where, or like gray areas that don't feel quite realistic, where you have to like find inspiration and, in a way, let the character tell you who they are. So yeah, as far as like coming up with the characters that weren't originally in Thomas's script, it was really based on utility. It's like if there was a point in the story that it seemed like it was necessary for there to be a character added in order to like have a perspective to tell that part of the story through, or to drive the plot from there. Like the detectives weren't a part of Thomas's original script.
Okay.
That was something that I added just to kind of like, I don't know, lazily find a way to tell the viewer like what types of, or what the vampires were. Like as they're investigating, they're like the vehicle for the viewer to learn more about the vampires and shit like that. So there's a lot of different avenues of approach that can be taken. So it's really just about whatever is needed and what services the story.
Yeah, perfect.
And it's a fucking Oscar.
All right, so who is your favorite character and who is your least favorite character in Deathless?
Nathaniel's my favorite character.
Why?
When I was writing him, I was like, hell yeah, I'm getting my fucking Naruto on right now. Like, I was just trying to think of I was like waiting for an opportunity to just like write some badass shit. And like, that was the perfect opportunity. Least favorite characters, honestly, maybe Chloe.
Yes.
What? What do you mean?
I hate Chloe too. Can't stand the character.
Yeah, she just kind of like. She's basically everything that annoyed me about myself. I was like, this fucking bitch. Sorry, Bree.
Bree doesn't like the character either. So it's not
Yes, indeed.
It's interesting when you hear about actors who, like, you find out that they, like, hated the movie that they were committed, like, this many months of their life to, or the character, or, like, their co-stars. It's like, but yeah, that shit can happen.
When it came to actually, what were some of your thoughts when you finally when it finally aired on Amazon Prime, like in its completion? What were some of your thoughts about seeing it now from all the years we worked on it, all the iterations, all the failures, to it finally being on a streaming platform?
Do you want me to be honest?
Absolutely, no cap.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah, I've already talked to you about it.
Yeah. So
Let me hear.
I'll be mild. How about that? I'll be honest, but I'll be mild.
I don't want no cap.
There were plenty of shortcomings that could have been avoided in terms of the final product. However, I recognize, it was the first time for a lot of people, and there was a learning curve. So
yeah.
It was more likely that it would come out the way that it came out than it was that it would have come out how it could have.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Look, okay, yeah, I will say this to the audience. That's a lot tamer than I heard, the perspective that I got. Because I spoke to her in person about it. Okay, what's to say this? Okay, now, let's get into a little bit more interesting territory. When it comes to, well, first of all, before I go there, is there any project currently that you're thinking about or currently looking to work on?
So I'm open to, I want to do more acting because I'm like, hello, I'm hot as fuck. Like, kind of a waste of time for me to not be on camera. So that in mind, as far as like screenwriting goes, not really. I don't have at the moment. Like, honestly.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna let him get his fucking little whatever out. Can you still hear him?
Yes.
But it's fading.
All right.
Does anybody Pomeranian for sale? What is happening?
Hope he ain't somebody trying to break in.
Yeah, am I being robbed?
Are you by yourself?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'll be right back. I have to pick him up, or he's gonna be parking.
Okay, let's give her a moment.
Did you guys do like an ad break or something?
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by damn, what is it brought to us by? I want to say something, but I don't want to get in trouble.
I was gonna say not a damn thing.
Because I want to use somebody that's not even basically have any ads in our project right now. I don't want to get like in trouble for using them. Okay, here it is.
Okay, problem solved. Okay, so what was the question?
So yeah, I was basically saying, you already answered it because I was basically asking, was there any other projects right now or in the future that you're about to be working on, or was you're trying to create to be working on that?
Okay, so yeah, I'm not super interested in. Jesus Christ, relax.
What is she upset about?
Somebody's here.
Oh,
He's a fucking demon. Are you hearing this shit?
got attitude.
Just relax. Okay. Fuck this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not really looking to do any screenwriting. Oh, so what I was gonna say is like, other than Deathless, that I don't. The work that I do is never really like screenwriting and then doing like film. There's so much happening in my life right now.
I see.
Get out! Not. I was talking to my dog. But the stuff that I do like independently is usually like videography. It's never like scripted stuff, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that I'm like mostly credited as being a screenwriter. So yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the good stuff. Let's talk about Hollywood. I've talked about Hollywood with a couple of other guests, and I'm interested in hearing your perspective. As you're probably aware, Scarlett Johansson not too long ago sued Disney. I think they've come to an agreement as of late, but she was very upset.
I did know that actually.
Okay, yeah, she tried to sue the hell out of Disney.
For what?
Basically, Disney released Black Widow and on Disney Plus in conjunction with a theatrical release, and there was a clause in her contract that I believe it said something along the lines, if the movie brings in a certain amount of money, you get paid these quote unquote bonuses. Now she's saying because it was released on Disney Plus, people didn't go to the theaters, so I didn't get paid. I didn't have a fair chance to get my bonus. Basically, that was her argument. So, yeah.
And so, how does this relate to your question?
My question again is Hollywood. So, what are your thoughts on the current state of Hollywood, and in my opinion, the lack of creativity when it comes to creating films, et cetera, et cetera?
My thoughts. Where to begin? I mean, honestly, I think that there is a good like pool of work that's out there that it's different and it's got new things to say. I think the issue is what is selected in terms of what gets spotlighted.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, there's tons of things. Something that like bothers me at night, like keeps me awake at night, is all of the great art that I don't know about because there's so fucking much like shit just like oversaturating all platforms that it's impossible to just find what you're looking for or find what you're like in the mood to see. Like,
did you see Squid Games?
Oh, of course.
What were your thoughts on Squid?
Fucking enjoyed it. So okay, so as a screenwriter, something that it's like a curse is I can't really I can't enjoy watching movies and shows as much because I can't turn my writer brain off. So the whole time I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. And I'm a really annoying person to watch stuff with because I'm like, this acting is terrible, or that makes no sense for that character's motivation to be that. All of a sudden, when in the beginning of the show they were doing this. So Squid Game was like a breath of fresh air for me because I could just relax and just watch it, knowing that it was like I could trust the writer and the director that there was something to see and something that they had to say, and that it was new and like fresh. So it was the first time in a long time that I've actually like sat and watched something, like binge watched something. And yeah, so it was nice. I appreciated it.
I enjoyed Squid Games. I thought Squid Game was good. Now again, I do know that it's getting a whole lot of accolades. Not to say it's not deserving. I think it's a good show. It did not connect with me, I think, the way it did with a lot of individuals, because again, I watched it late, and a lot of people were telling me, you got to watch Squid Game. Thomas, you'll like Squid Game. Thomas, we know you're gonna like Squid Game. And I was like, word, okay. So when I watched it, I guess that's the reason for my slight disappointment in the show. And I think it was more because of the fact that people that know me know some of the type of entertainment that I like, that I enjoy. And even though Squid Game was good narratively for the most part, I didn't really have any qualms with it. I thought it was a bit tame, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought it was a bit tame, based on what they could have done. What are your thoughts, Hoots?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked that you felt that way, because knowing you, I thought you would have been dying laughing on that first episode. How, as you said, they went out kicking and screaming.
Yeah, yeah,
and they,
yeah.
they really
No,
did.
the funniest one to me is when they were doing that goddamn cookie, and just the thought process, the thought process in their head when they realized what time it was, and they put a revolver to your head. But go ahead.
You probably like if a bunch of people hit you up and were like, Thomas, you're gonna love this. Like, to a regular person, that show was brutal, but to like you and me, it was relatively tame.
Mm-hmm.
But are you asking like what I think about the fact that it wasn't living up to the hype for you?
Well, yeah. Well. Mostly was my thought. The question I'm asking to you is that I was told that, oh yeah, you gotta watch this. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna love it, Thomas, because of who you are, et cetera, et cetera. Did you find anything that Squid Games did to be, I guess, not like surprising to you? That's the word I guess I'm looking for. Surprising or anything like that, compared to some of the stuff that we're used to watching. We watch like a Serbian film, like one of those films that are like banned in the U.S. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm asking, Hoots.
Had to kick out my dog. Surprising? No, not really. But also I've like seen. I think that this is like the first thing, other than maybe like Parasite, from like Korean media that became this popular.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why so many people were like, this is the fucking first time I've ever seen anything like this. But for me, it's like we've seen, like, we're no stranger to, especially like Asian cinema, like shows and shit like that. So it was outside of my realm of understanding.
Did you guys see the Belko experiment?
Yes. See, this is the thing, is like everybody's like, yeah, it's like when they're talking about Squid Game and someone's like, well, will I like it? Everybody's like, it's like Hunger Games. And I'm like, no, the fuck.
I hated Hunger Games.
I'm like if you took Belko experiment and what's that? I can never remember the name of the movie. It's like a Japanese movie where a bunch of students have to fucking kill each other. It's a fucking cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name right now, but it's like if you took those two and put them together, or if you just took Belko experiment and made it Korean, that makes.
Oh yeah, and the Belko experiment was, I found again a little bit more, and I won't say more. The difference is that since Squid Game is a series, it had time to develop more of a story. You got to connect to the characters. You got a chance to connect to the characters a lot more, get to know them. That's the benefits of being able to do a series than doing a movie that has a set runtime. But I think the idea of being locked into a building and being told that you have to do certain things in order to get out of there alive, which also included killing your fellow workers, people that you've been working with for a couple of months, et cetera, and the ways that it went down happening, I thought was more entertaining. Squid Game, pretty much the most devastating way someone went out was being shot, for the most part. Yeah. Throwing each other. I'm assuming people that are watching this have seen the show. Hopefully, spoiler alert. I'm sorry if I didn't say that earlier. As being suplexed, off fucking glass into your demise. So, yeah, I was not that, like, enamored by the lack of, let's just say, destruction that took place in the show.
Yeah, there's not as much like shock value as people are making it. I mean, again, for regular people who like they watch, I don't fucking know, Orange is the New Black. Like that's the most edgy thing that they've ever watched in their lives. Then Squid Game is a little bit on the more brutal side.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And again, this is not to say that Squid Games is not a good show. I thought it was a very excellent show, especially from the writing perspective. It was really good.
Mhm.
It did a really, really good job of getting you to connect with these characters. It also did a very good job of. Let me say this: the ending was a little bit. Let's say.
Don't spoil it, Thomas. I haven't gotten to the last episode yet. You know I'm gonna
Oh,
be
okay. I thought you saw it. I'm sorry. Okay.
not the last episode yet. Don't ruin it.
Let me move on for that then. Let me do this. Let me do this. So I made a claim, Hooty, when I was speaking to Alec about Pixar. We were talking about because he told me his favorite one of his favorite movies was Toy Story, and he said he liked the way it made him feel, et cetera, and that Pixar does amazing work. Now, again, I haven't really enjoyed Pixar films since the first Incredibles, to be perfectly honest with you. The latest one I think they came out with, I think it was the latest, was Soul, with the black guy, and I explained to Suzette and Alec my thoughts on the film Soul, because, again, Pixar was trying to market that to the black community. Hey, look, we're making a Disney film about a black person. Come watch it. And then when I gave it a chance, and I told this to Suzette and Alec, all I saw was a black man being terrorized by not only his community, but some ghost thing, spirit entity. Okay, it was basically a movie about harassment, a black man being terrorized for 90 minutes. Did you see that movie, Hoots? And if you did, what was your perspective?
I actually just watched it for the first time like a few weeks ago. It's something that I've been wanting to watch for a while. But I never really... It took me a second to kind of figure out where they were going with it. Like, when I was watching it, I didn't really know what it was about. I just knew that, like, when it came out, a bunch of people were raving about it. And I just... Because it was like, they had representation for African Americans in Pixar for once, which I thought was really cool. I really did like seeing the characters and like seeing us and like that. I thought that was in its own like be enamored. But as far as like initially I was like, I don't know where the fuck this is going. But when it got to the part where he like was playing the piano and like reminiscing, I guess, on all of the things that the other soul that was like in his body for a while, like all the things that she experienced, I was like, okay, I see, and I like that sentiment, like the sentiment of your purpose in living just to live and like be alive. And I was like, cute as fuck.
You did not get any semblance of terrorism to the black gentleman that was in that film, because that's what I got from it. He was terrorized from the beginning when he did not get the part in the when he's trying to work with the young ladies for the spoken blues singer or whatever, and then when he perishes trying to get there, he immediately goes to, I guess, heaven. I don't know what the hell that was. And, he's basically told that you have to deal with this because they said it was genderless. So I'm not sure what to call it. But again, for I would say the second to third act, he was basically running around trying to get his body back in a cat and everything else. And I said, in my opinion, he's being terrorized in some capacity. I don't feel like that was something that was endearing at all. I felt by the end of it, he probably should have, if this was really based off any type of reality, I feel like they would have drove him to go, probably go pick up a revolver and start, doing some of the shit that Squid Game did. I thought the level of terrorism that he experienced should have caused him to either, I wouldn't even say off himself, but start causing some type of calamity for the pain that he went through.
Well, Thomas, I think you were hoping to see a completely different movie. That is just, in fact, not what that one was about. I think that one was just about... I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't think that, like, as a whole, it was kind of, like, a loose plot. Like, it didn't really, like, come together. It wasn't, like, nicely, like, packaged and, like, had a nice finish with like a bow and all of that. But I see what they were trying to do, and I think that they should continue to like explore what that genre could be.
So you did not, again, one more time, you did not see any semblance of terrorism to this black man whatsoever.
No, I don't think he was being systematically oppressed and like, whatever. I thought it was just a nigga who wanted to fucking make music, which is relatable for a lot of people. And he wasn't
okay. Maybe I had it, maybe I had a completely different, takeaway from it, and that's fine.
Not satisfied unless there's like a certain degree of fucking tragedy involved.
He died.
Yeah, but he
did.
Which I don't really understand how that happened. So it's like they didn't commit to the tragedy, so it's like,
He literally fell in a fucking.
If like you could have seen him die.
Yes, listen, and again, I don't think they expounded upon the mental anguish that he probably would have had, not just from the fact that he died, how he died by falling into a fucking manhole, number one. Number two, the fact that he was on his way to change his life, okay? Allegedly, okay? He gets there, and he doesn't seem like he doesn't even have time to process. Listen, if it was me, I would have been out there choking people out and having, like, I just would, like, the way he processed that was so unrealistic to me. Like, he didn't even, I'm not going to.
He's getting choked up, everyone.
It was not believable to me. Like,
so when you were watching it, like, give me an impression of, like, what your reaction to the film was like in real time as you were watching it.
Well, my reaction to it was
act
it out.
So pretend you're sitting there eating popcorn.
My reaction to it, if it was a DVD, was yeet. Okay, I thought I did not enjoy the film. I just did not. I thought it was incredibly unrealistic. Okay, I've been living around black folks my whole life. Okay, I have a pretty good understanding on how, motherfuckers will, excuse my French, how mofos will react, in a situation like that. Okay, I mean, people have destroyed other people for less. Bright yellow gumballs and Jordan tennis shoes. I understand how people react in these type of situations, let alone get killed in a manhole on my way to one of the biggest life-changing experiences ever. And then his response to it is, "Hey, I'm dead. Oh no, how do I get back?" No. The first thing you should be doing is trying to figure out, number one, why this happened to you, why this was allowed to happen to you. If you don't get the answers you're looking for, you go on a terroristic spree. Okay? That's what I'm getting at, okay? Because I think he handled that too well. It's my opinion. I feel he handled it too well, I mean, again, I've seen people get destroyed and lose their shit for less.
Yeah, the movie, I was frustrated, like, for the first maybe like 30 minutes of the movie, because I was like, is the whole movie going to be this? Like, he's like this 2D glowing thing?
Yeah.
But you guys gotta see, that's how they do these black shows. Princess and the Frog, we got her as Tiana for what? 5-10 minutes, and then she was a frog the whole movie.
Fucking frog for 9
and then she turned into her again. So you got a black man this time got turned into a spear, and then for 30 seconds, and then turned that.
It was a fat ass cat.
Black shows.
Fat ass cat running around. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was. There were some cool ideas in there, but yeah. Like the concept as a whole, or the movie as a whole, just like it didn't come together. But there was, for me, like that moment of like, what's the word I'm looking for?
You said it was cute.
Like it was, I was satisfied ultimately.
Well, I mean, the type of satisfaction that I would be looking for is because one of my dreams, and I think I've told you this before, Hooty. One of my dreams is to create a film so amazing, so gripping, so compelling, that by the end of it, your only reaction is for your eye to twitch, for you to float your bowels, and for you to probably release some type of distorted noise because your brain can't process how amazing what it was that you just watched. That's what one of my dreams is when it comes to, cinematic perfection.
Have you ever seen anything that made you react that way?
No, unfortunately, not at all. Which is why I strive for it.
Okay.
That's why I
I
strive
think
for
we
it.
can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it can be done because there's a lot. Again, when we talk about film, let's go to another one because I know Hooty doesn't really. You don't really watch superhero shows like that, so I don't think they interest you like that. But when it comes to the aspect of something that did you see? What was it? Well, let me ask you this before I get into that. What would you say is your favorite film of all time, Hooty?
This is such an unfair question.
Give me one.
Of all time?
Yeah. Your favorite one of all time that you can watch over and over again and still enjoy it like the first time you watched it. The Goofy movie from Disney?
Fuck no. I really don't know. Like, the thing is, the movies that I like I have obsessional phases with film.
What about the one that oh yeah, I thought you really liked that one. The one where the two individuals, a black, I think Marlon Wayans in it, the black and white individual, and the grandma or the mother got high on some drugs, and she ended up losing her mind, and it was a really what was it? Oh man,
what are you talking about?
It was a movie about people doing drugs and the pain
Are
of.
you talking about Requiem for a Dream?
Yes.
I would never watch that movie again.
Why?
Because I don't like being upset. You ever meet someone who's like, my favorite film is Requiem for a Dream, I watch it all the time? Call the fucking police. Because they're probably a fucking serial killer.
I enjoyed Requiem for a Dream. Listen, the way that each character conveyed despair.
Genius. It's like it's a masterpiece in its own right, but my favorite movie of all time. No. Not that I would voluntarily decide to watch ever again.
Well, what would that be? What would that movie be?
Something I would voluntarily decide to watch?
Yeah.
Honestly, the only thing I can think of right now is Interstellar.
You goddamn right. Interstellar is probably one of the greatest movies that I've seen in the last decade. It was fantastic. And that says a lot about Matthew McConaughey because he did that.
Absolutely.
He did that shit.
That fucking scene, the 23 years scene.
Yes.
Reviewing the messages that came through.
Yes.
My dick. Oh, quite the performance.
Absolutely.
That shit those emotions came from somewhere. He dug down deep in.
Oh yeah. Cinematic masterpiece. And again, that was my boy Christopher Nolan, who then decided to shit out Tenet, which was awful.
I haven't seen it. Should I watch it?
No.
Should I watch it for the sake of being like, this fucking sucks?
If you can get past the first act, go ahead.
Is it that boring?
It was just stupid.
What was bad about it? Don't spoil it.
Well, I think, one thing that I love, it also kind of bothers me about Christopher Nolan, is that he likes to do things and come up with situations that he thinks are going to go above people's heads. He likes to play on people's intelligence. I feel like it's very, very, very contrived at times. And, with Tenet was one of those things. And within the first act, I was like, this is some bullshit. Yeah, this is.
You think it was like pretentious?
Very, very. For no reason. And I was like, my man, what was it that you were trying to convey? And I love how the film people try to have this aspect that it was above your comprehension. That's what makes it a
It's
masterpiece.
because they don't know what they were talking about
No,
when they
motherfucker, it was trash.
So you're
Okay.
saying that the people who like Tenet, there's like an overlap between that fan base and the Rick and Morty fan base?
Well, let's talk about it. Because have you watched Rick and Morty?
Yeah, give or take.
Rick and Morty, I think Rick and Morty's fans do Rick and Morty a injustice. I think especially the first season, was very clever. I think they've gotten, again, more pretentious in the later seasons, especially this last season that came out. I was disappointed. The first 2 seasons were amazing, in my opinion. When I mean amazing, I thought were really good. They're amazing compared to the last 2 seasons, which I thought they started missing. They weren't hitting the way they used to, and I don't really know why. Maybe they just ran out of ideas. I don't get it. But the first season, the second season were pretty good. I really enjoyed it. There was, I know it's a meme right now, but I thought Pickle Rick was amazing. There was, what was the other one? There's another one because the reason why I liked Rick and Morty and I thought it was done so well, it gave me a feeling of the cleverness that I got from Invader Zim. Even though people really don't care about Invader Zim is very clever. Did you ever watch that, Hooty? You're doing yourself a disservice. You need to check it out.
Yes.
It's really good. It's it might be a little dated now. I can still watch it. It's still hilarious to this day. But the cleverness that Invader Zim had, I think Rick and Morty had in the first 2 seasons, which kind of died out. Now, again, I would say the fan bases of Rick and Morty are ridiculous. They really sour people's thoughts on Rick and Morty. But again, I can find it very entertaining. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. But go ahead, Hoots. So my thing is, so again, when you talk about, when I was talking about Rick and Morty, when we're talking about movies as well, like, do you really watch a lot of film?
Nowadays, no, not really. Sometimes I'll just like randomly get in the mood to like rewatch something like
Princess Mononoke. Absolutely.
Still never seen that.
What?
Yeah.
It would behoove you to to check it out. Okay, it would behoove you. It's still one of Hazel Miyazaki's most amazing works. With that being said, I introduced you to a anime called Berserk. Rest in peace, the writer and creator of Berserk. Jesus Christ, it's a travesty. Could you? I mean, I think I introduced you to the anime or the movies before the actual manga. Could you give me your thoughts on when it comes to? But the reason I bring that Berserk is because I think it's almost perfect when it comes to character development, story flow, etc., in any type of medium. What are your thoughts on that, Hooty?
On Berserk being flawless?
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's a fair assessment. I have not finished the manga. I mean, nobody's ever going to, sadly. But
breaks my heart.
Sorry, but yeah, I really liked I can't really think of anything that I didn't like about like the anime, and then the Golden Arc series. Yeah, I really liked it. It was kind of like that show was like everything that I was like looking for in an anime for a really long time. And then when I watched Berserk, I was like, this is like right up my alley. This is like perfect.
Do you think, because there have been rumors that the guy that did Castlevania for Netflix is interested in doing like bringing it basically full, to the American culture and actually doing the entire, I guess, series from the manga. Do you think that Berserk is something that would be accepted in today's society?
I don't think it would matter because the fan base is built in. As long as like if they were to remake it or like revisit it in full, as long as they don't fuck it up, should be fine.
Yeah, I would be afraid that they would be willing. Like, for example, one of the things me and you both agreed on was the horrible animation for the Berserk 2016 and Berserk 2017 animation they did. And there were some things that they did to censor certain things. I would think that I think it would cause a huge uproar, which it did in Berserk 2016, if they were to censor certain aspects of the Berserk story, because there was not, even with the nudity or some of the more, even with the nudity and some of the more, let's just say sensitive scenes, they were all done for a reason. Nothing is done for the sake of it just being done. It was all done for a reason narratively. So when those things are, I can see those things being removed because of, I don't think society would take too kindly to them, especially in today's day and age.
Well, society need to sit down somewhere, mind their business.
Speaking of those things, Suzette, I know I put you on Gans. How far have you gotten on that?
I went on that vacation, so I did not read it. But, I'm gonna get back into it.
Gotta get back into it. So yeah, Hoots. As we wrap up here, let me go down memory lane one more time. When it comes to our entanglement, the things that we've accomplished.
Strange word to use, but
entanglement.
Yeah. I've said it, I'm like, oh yeah, fucking Jada Pinkett type of shit. Yeah.
Not that.
With our friendship. The reason I said entanglement, because it's been a very interesting. It's different from other friendships that I've had in the past, and I wanted to pay tribute to that. With kind of going back down memory lane and all the things that we've accomplished together. I mean, I know one of the things that we wanted to do at some point, I think it's still time to do that, which is, gain dominance over this thing we call reality. But nevertheless, I think it's been an amazing journey from our inception to where we are now. Has been a phenomenal and amazing journey. And I wouldn't change not one goddamn chapter. It's been phenomenal. Yep.
Well, thank you. That was a very lovely tribute. It's certainly been unlike any other. How long has it been?
Oh, it's been a while. I met you when you were 17.
Okay, so 11 years. Wow.
Fuck.
Woo!
Damn, Hoots.
Oh, that's crazy, actually.
Goddamn decade. Over a decade.
Yeah. Wow.
That's crazy. And we've seen the evolutions of one another. We've seen it, man. And again, I think even with the writing, you saw that, because, I've watched Hooty evolve over the years into who she is today. It is a metamorphosis of an amazing kind, guys.
Yeah.
So
Thomas was there for my ugly phase.
she will always call it that. But I've had my thoughts on that. I didn't think that was necessarily the case, but it is what it is. When it comes to some of the friends and engagements we've made along the way, what we used to do for each other's birthdays. One thing me and Hooty always did. We always made sure we took care of each other on each other's birthdays. When our birthdays came around and things like that and so forth. So it's been a great time. It's been a very, very, very great time. It's a very, very, very good long ride, and hopefully it's going to continue. A lot of history there. Like I said, over a decade. I didn't realize that it's been over a decade. And the same thing goes to Suzette, man. Like I said, Suzette's original OG as well.
Suzette's been around longer than me.
Yeah.
I don't know how long you guys have been friends by the time I showed up.
I think I was 18, 19 when I met Thomas. I'm 30 now, so it's been a good little minute.
Yes, yeah. She's been pumping. She's been bumping that same. Nicki Minaj music since we first met. Spending Christmases together, doing potlucks, doing Secret Santas. Like we were there for all our, all the debauchery when it came to relationship. Like we were there for all that shit. So it's been a great ride, man. It's not over yet. It's been not over yet, but it's been a great ride, man. And God damn, I can't say that I do miss it. I really do. I remember coming home from the club one time with Hooty, and she's like surfing on the hood of my car, and there was a dude that was like completely like passed out.
I think about that a lot and wonder if it still draws breath. That was very dangerous. This guy was literally like passed out, like at a stop sign, and his foot. The only reason that he wasn't like in any danger was just because by chance he passed out with his foot on the brake. Like I was trying to wake him up and be like, "Hey, you're, nearing death," and he didn't say anything to me. He just like slowly opened his eyes and then just like pulled off. And
just pulled off. Yeah, you hopefully still draws breath. Jesus Christ, because he was fucked up bad. Yeah, man, it was wild. It was wild, man. So yeah, man. I remember, we used to, even when we weren't filming, we would basically we would go in town and go to like the little alleyway area, climb on the top of buildings and just drink and explore. There was another time we had went. I remember, what was the guy's name? The bald guy that did photography, a friend of yours. We went, and I think I got those photos. We went and we took a lot of pictures on pretty much just exploring downtown and things like that and so forth. We've had some pretty cool adventures when it comes to our not entanglement but relationship, I guess.
Our platonic entanglement, and like at every good platonic entanglement, it's destroyed because one decides to move away.
Exactly. And doesn't want to come back.
I do want to come back. I am going to be busy. My sister, because my sister had got COVID, and then my parents got sick as well. So I know it's been ravaging niggas in Tallahassee.
Yeah, everybody around me caught it.
So
but I'm vaccinated now.
Oh, okay.
Yep, vaccinated over here. We got this.
Look, listen. Who was it? What celebrity was it that just died dead with the vaccine? Got the vaccine, dead as shit.
I need to let you know my phone is dying.
Okay. Got you. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Listen, I really appreciate everything that you guys have done, everything you've done to brought the game, Hooty. And before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to shout out your social media, so that people can come and find you.
My social media is at Vic Carnage everywhere.
Your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, with 2 C's in the middle. I didn't combine. It's Vic Carnage.
Okay. You heard it there, folks. We really appreciate it, guys. It's been fun. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can get you back at some other point to come back on. All righty. Yes, indeed. Thanks for your time. All right. Y'all take care, okay?
All righty. Bye.